All right, we are back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Johnny No Cash. You are listening to an extended version of Life with Johnny No Cash. I just banged out a 30-minute episode, and I still had so much more to say. But at the same time, I like keeping the podcast at around, anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes. So I figured rather than just running it into the ground and maybe people wouldn't even get to that point in the podcast, I figured, why don't we just stop it? And I'll do another one. So that's sometimes what you get. Sometimes, I'll take a couple weeks off. And then when I get into the zone, into the fucking mojo, that's a word that I never fucking use, but for whatever reason, I've used it twice now. When you get those juices going, you gotta let them flow. So I wanted to talk about something that is totally fucking off the spectrum and radar. Because normally I talk, about van life, about just life in general, things like that. I've never done an episode like this, but I fucking have to. I have to talk about Titanic. And I can already fucking hear the nails on the chalkboard from beyond in the future. See, I'm recording this and you guys aren't listening to it until tomorrow or the next day. I can already hear it, but I want to talk about Titanic. I just finished watching it in theaters, 3D in 4K, and I just want to talk about it because it fucking had a massive effect on me. So without further ado, this is just going to be a short episode. So I'm actually going to skip the intro song, all right? Life with Johnny No Cash. Smoking them smokes and drinking that booze. Life with Johnny No Cash. All right, there we go. So we're going to talk about Titanic today. Let me give you just a bit of a fucking backstory here. Like when Titanic came out in 1997, it was just an absolute global phenomenon. And I was like in grade, I don't know, fucking 10 or something like that. I had spiked hair. Like the last fucking thing on my goddamn mind was a romance. Anything to do with like Romeo and Juliet and shit like that. So I completely dismissed the film immediately. Even though it's made by James motherfucking Cameron, who's done Aliens, The Abyss, Terminator 1 and 2, True fucking lies. Like the guy is an absolute juggernaut when it comes to entertainment and film. And an innovator. This guy has done shit that filmmakers will be doing well past and using well past his lifespan. So I shat all over it. The media was shatting all over it at the time too. I've noticed that when something is so good, the only thing people can do to stand out on their own merit is shit on it. Now, one of these days I will do a podcast on Michael Jackson. But we're not talking about Michael Jackson today. We are talking about Titanic. And Titanic was such a phenomenon that nobody had anything bad to say except people that just wanted to stand out from the fucking crowd. And that is a big problem with people and society, and especially in today's society where the internet rules everyone's fucking psyche and time, is anybody can have a voice. And if something is like phenomenally good, people will be able to stand out of the crowd, in the crowd, if they oppose the general consensus. So I was shitting all over this film immediately. I didn't even see it. I just heard the fucking song. I saw a couple of the shots of, Rose and Jack at the bow. And I'm just like, fuck this movie. I want nothing to do with it. This is just a cash grab. And I didn't see it until probably about a year and a half later. And the funny story is I was at my buddy's place, Chris Shields. We were fucking young, like really young. And he had the VHS, the double there you definitely giving away my age, but he had the double VHS where, you know, you got to the boat crash and then it was like, switch over to tape 2. That's when you get, you know, your popcorn or you take your pisses or your smoke breaks or whatever. I think that's what it's for. And I'll tell you, man, I was fucking blown away at the time. Absolutely floored. Like the character, the thing is, this is the thing, guys, and hear me out. I know that maybe a lot of you guys have already turned this episode off. It's totally fine. I know this is kind of like a random rant that I just felt like I needed to get off my chest. This is the thing. Like Titanic, sure, it's a love story, but it's so much more than that. Think of the movie Rocky. I remember talking to my mom about Rocky. Rocky is one of my favorite films of all time. And most people that don't know anything about the film think that Rocky's a boxing movie. And I thought the same thing about Titanic. I didn't know that there was so many other layers to this story. And that's the thing. We're also in this day and age where story's out the fucking window. It's like, let's get a bunch of babes and studs in fucking skin tight, you know, uniforms, have tons of green screen and top end CGI. Oh, right. And we need a story. Let's just have these fucking good looking people fighting these good looking people. Let's have Hans Zimmer do the fucking score and let's just have them say some shit. I don't care what they're saying, just like yelling back and forth, and that's fine. Like that'll work, that'll fly. And oddly enough, it fucking does. Oddly enough, a lot of these stupid fucking movies do billions of dollars in the box office. And I'm thinking to myself, what has happened to good storytelling? Now I'm getting back to Titanic here. Titanic is not if you haven't seen Titanic, I fucking highly, highly recommend it. This is not a movie just about a fucking girl that meets a guy and then the fucking ship goes down. There's so much. This is about class. This is about greed. This is about different levels of literally the onion peel of life. And when I started watching this movie for the first time, I was instantly relating to the Jack character. He's a little bum. He doesn't have any cash. You know, he's got goals and dreams and aspirations, and he's got like such like an open heart and an open mind to the massive world ahead of him, but he's got nothing physically, nothing. And then you cut to Rose, who physically has everything, but she's in the smallest fucking confined box. She's got no freedom. She's got no idea what is coming next, other than the things that have already been pre-planned for her. And it's a brilliant story of these two completely unlikable or unrelatable characters that come together and find common ground and a bond. It's basically, I mean, it is Romeo and Juliet, ultimately. And fuck you if you think this, but Romeo and Juliet, it's a classic. So for people shitting all over, you know, Titanic, it's like, well, you're basically shitting all over a fucking Shakespearean classic, because that's ultimately what it is. Man, so I watched Titanic in 3D. It was an empty fucking movie theater. And I highly, like I said, if you have an opportunity today when you're listening to this, because it's not going to be in theaters for much longer. I don't know, fucking James Cameron should toss me a bone and maybe buy me a couple fucking coffees for doing this. But you need to watch it. Think about it. $20. For $20, you can't even get a burger and a fucking beer anymore. But for $20, you can sit and have your absolute mind blown for 3 hours of like a master fucking class in filmmaking, storytelling, acting, lighting, props design. This is top fucking tier shit. And if you have the opportunity, I highly recommend you take your preconceived notions about the film, toss them out the window, get some fucking popcorn. I don't give a shit if you go with your fucking girlfriend, your boyfriend, your dog, or just a friend, or by yourself. Get immersed in proper storytelling, because I'm telling you, man, we're getting to a point in life where movies these days and storytelling in general is becoming so damn bland and just simple that they think for you. And I just, like, the 3D was immaculately done. The sound design, highly, highly recommend it. There's so much I could talk more about this film. It left me absolutely gut wrenched. Like it was like everything in my body was just like tensed up at the end because I'd gone through this incredible emotional roller coaster. Yeah, I fucking cried. You're not human if you don't cry at the end of Titanic. I mean, it's touching. It's fucking touching. And like the last chunk of the movie, which I'm not telling anybody if you haven't seen it. I mean, we all know what happens. I mean, that's the great thing about James Cameron's storytelling is it starts with the fucking ship sinking. So you damn well know, okay, the ship ain't making the shore. It ain't making it. Most people are going to die. So I love the fact that, that's out of the way. Now we're on to the real shit. But at the very end of the movie, man, you got no fucking soul if you're not tearing up a little bit. I don't give a shit if you're jacked on roids and you basically live at the damn gym and all you do is fucking have Schwarzenegger posters on your bedroom wall. I don't give a shit. You're gonna feel something at the end of this film. And I know I don't normally do movie reviews. I normally don't do this kind of shit, but it's just been on my mind for well over a week now. And I really wanted to talk about it. I really wanted to express my appreciation for the film, for my experience, and I'd love to hear what you guys think. You can tell me off. You can unsubscribe. You can stop listening to my shit because maybe this is a little too fucking feminine for your algorithm. That's totally fine, man. Titanic rules. It's a fucking masterpiece. I loved every second of it, and I'd definitely watch it again. And you're missing out if you dismiss it. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for listening to my movie review of Titanic 3D and 4K. Thank you so much. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Titanic. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's an overrated piece of shit? Do you think it's too long and they could have fucking nipped it at the bud at like 2 hours? Or do you think the runtime was right on the motherfucking money? I'd love to know because this is a movie I like to discuss and I could easily discuss this film with anybody. It's just one of those fucking gems. So until next time, folks, thank y'all so much for listening. And I hope I'll put the link for the brand new episode in the description here or maybe up in the corner. I'm not entirely sure where I'll put that, but I do have a full length episode that I just finished recording right before I started recording this. So if you think that this is this week's episode, you are mistaken. I have an actual Life with Johnny No Cash episode coming. Probably will be released before this. So if you see this first, check the description, check the boxes, and we'll see you around. Till next time, stay dusty. I'm out. I'm living in a van playing outlaw tunes. Life with Johnny No Cash. Smoking them smokes and drinking that booze. Life with Johnny No Cash. Where I go, how the fuck I'll know I'm off the grid on dusty roads. There ain't no better way of eating beans.